people want to work with friends. So because I get along with so many people, they feel great passing your name for it. It's just being that good person goes so far. That's how your name gets passed around. You could be doing okay work. You could do good work, and being a good person takes you that little bit further.
Welcome back to the Bringing Up Business podcast, where we talk about business and parenting. This show is brought to you by marketing and creative agency called Yumari.Digital. Yumari.Digital specializes in websites, email marketing, and branding for small businesses. If this is your first time listening, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Whether you want to work for yourself or you have a business and you're planning a family, you are in the right place. Our goal on this show is to empower you with strategies so you can confidently work for yourself while raising your family. I am your host, Kaila Sachse. I've been self-employed for the past 9 years, and I am currently raising a toddler. He's very rambunctious and fun, and I'm just loving seeing his personality develop. It's a blast. Today's guest, Anthony Marzilli, has an impressive video editing career. His clients include the Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers, Ford Racing, and a local racetrack, M1 Concourse, as well as many others. He has been self-employed for the past decade, and today we're going to dive into how he's been able to make it all work. Anthony, I'm so glad you could join me today, and welcome to the show.
I'm loving that you have me here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So let's talk about your journey. Which came first for you, working for yourself or becoming a dad?
It was first a dad. Yeah, I was trying to do the math. I'm like, yeah, it started. So I had my son, and who is now 11. So it's like I'm right with you about the 9-10 years thing. So we're at the same time. He was an infant, and then at that point, I had an opportunity to work in sports, and I went to work for the Detroit Pistons, and he was 1 or 2 years old at that time. So I had the son first, and then went to the Pistons. So he got to enjoy some of that, but he doesn't remember that. He's too young.
You started as a side hustle, is that correct? And then branched out into full self-employment, or what did that look like?
Well, once I started actually with the Pistons, that's when I started doing some side work of connection through college. He showed a video of like a Sports Illustrated thing on social media, and he was like, "Hey, can you do something like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I absolutely can." And at that point, he worked for Ford Performance, which I believe now they just switched the name back to Ford Racing. And I made these videos, and they loved them. And so it started with that. Like, it's kind of crazy to think that your first side hustle is with Ford. Like, that was just mind blowing. So that really started a lot of it.
Yeah, not many people can get to say that. That's kind of a big whale to get to start with.
Yeah. So that's just luck of the draw of having friends that wanted to have something made that worked for a place like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's not only luck of the draw to get to be around people with connections, right? That is a blessing. That is luck. However, I do believe that there's a component that we can control, and that is how we make and build relationships. So it's not just lucky that all of a sudden this person dropped into your life and suddenly gave you this opportunity. You had a part to play in that too. So what does that networking component, or if we want to sound less transactional, right? What does that relationship forming component look like for you? How do you make friends and keep friends?
I get with what you just said. And the truth is, I almost never use the word luck, and I said it there, but it's like I use the word fortunate, because it is, we'll call maybe luck that one person asked you something, but you're fortunate because then you're ready, prepared, you do a good job. And then because you do a good job, it keeps going. So it's that luck might be that very, very first time, but after that, it's being prepared to do a good job, and then they'll keep coming back. But it's all about relationships. That's how a lot of my career has gone, is meeting people through these jobs that I've had, and then they need something, and they move on to somewhere else. Oh, I know somebody who can help here. And that's how I've got to do so much that I've done. So I'm a big advocate in saying, be good at what you do, but be a better person, because that can take you very far by being a good team member.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What does being a good team member look like to you? What does that look like in practice?
I do friendly, and I talk a lot, as in, I don't just, when I'm in there doing a job, yeah, you can step back and do the camera. And sometimes you can read the room that maybe that's what you're supposed to do. But other times I'm interested in people. I'm interested in hearing about their day or their organization. I ask a lot of questions when I'm doing these videos, because I feel like maybe I get annoying sometimes, but I'm asking all these questions to better suit their audience, what they're making it for. Because yeah, by asking more, you can really find out what they're trying to achieve for who. So yeah, I really think just being friendly, talking about anything. It doesn't even have to be about like the topic or whatever, but you can learn so much just from side conversation of what matters to the people where you're at.
Yeah, yeah, being curious about other people, asking questions about them, their lives, and more specifically their businesses. We
Yeah.
can better I'm a firm believer that we can better serve our clientele or our customers if we're in a B2C space by better understanding who they are. What motivates them? What is it that they need, that they want? All of those motivations can factor into how we deliver a final output. So,
Yes. With that said, I work in a different range of, we'll call it clients. I hate using the words clients. I always say people I work with, because that's just how I view it. Is like, I'm part of the team. I don't view it as yeah, an ownership type thing. It's different. Just asking about what they do. And some of them, it's like, it's a private club. I do a lot of videos for this private club. It's like, they're not trying to get more members. They're not trying to do this. This is just for their memberships, for enjoyment purposes. Same with a lot of sports. It's like, you're just kind of doing things to make the fans happy. You're not doing it to be like, hey, let's make this to sell more hot dogs. Like, not always. But then I also do stuff for other ones where it is exactly that. We want to make this to get a return. So it's fun to be able to try the different things. And it takes a few times sometimes to know what they're going for, and mold to get what their final outcome is.
I love that you brought up how it's important to try different things and understand that it's going to happen where we will fall on our face or the idea will fall on its face, right?
And I'm knocking on wood with that, because so far I have not had a horrible one of those, and I feel extremely fortunate, because yes, everybody, that's how you get better, is learning by failure. And I've just been
Yes.
extremely fortunate that I have not had a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because yes, that is how you learn the most. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I attribute your not having to fall so hard on your face to your listening skills and your investigation skills and your understanding who the person is who you're working with and what it is that they want. I mean, those two go hand in hand, right? When you understand who they are, you're setting yourself up for success or
Yeah.
a higher chance of success.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, because there's still that chance with all the gear that we use, cameras and all the audio, that one thing doesn't work right. And yeah, you kind of can lose the project, or lose the very important thing that only happened once. And I'm very fortunate that that has not happened, that I can't blame it on the gear. I can only blame it on myself so far. So that's very good.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I can only
Yeah.
imagine. Like that would really
It's kind
stink.
of why I stay away from weddings. I've been so fortunate to not do weddings. I don't want to do weddings because of that pressure. Somebody's going down the aisle and the mic decides not to turn on, or it was on mute and didn't realize, like, nope, I don't want to be part of that. I've never wanted to be into weddings. I'm very fortunate that I have not had to. And that's not bashing the industry. It's just not something I want to do. Because yes, there's a lot of people that do it and they love it, and there's good money in it. But I want to stay away, and I'm very fortunate that I have.
Yeah, I completely resonate with that. I used to do photography on the side. That was a side hustle that I picked up in college. And I did photograph a wedding, and it was a lot. it was a lot of pressure, and it's just
Because
not
you're
as
not just
fun.
dealing with the bride and groom, you're dealing with their families. like that's gonna be hard for the photographer because now they're all demanding things, and you know who you're supposed to listen to, but you want to try to listen to everybody, but that's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, you have so many bosses in that regard. But also there's a financial component too. They've laid down so much money into this thing, and it's gotta be great. It's gotta be
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Whereas like a birthday party or a anniversary party, all right, that's a lot more lax.
Yeah, over the years, I've kind of found that some people where you give your price, your normal price, and they're like, okay, you do that. I've through my industry, I've realized the people that sometimes debate, oh, that's too much. Can we do it for this? Can we do it for those are the most demanding clients. Like
Yeah.
so you learn the respect thing. Like if they respect you, you're going to do a great job for that. But then when they start to try to nickel and dime every part of it, it gets really hard, and you still want to do the best job you can. Like, oh, well, we don't want to use this part. And you're like, yeah, but I really think it would make your stuff look so much better. And it's like, I don't want to lower my quality because somebody just doesn't want to pay as much. Like, it's just, yeah, that gets hard is when people think that they've spent a lot of money, but with your experience, sometimes you're like, that's nothing. You're arguing or fighting for something that is so minimal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had the exact same experience.
Yes.
The clients who either want a nickel and dime or they're like, hey, I need this tomorrow. I need
I
this
get a
ASAP.
I get a lot of those. Yeah.
I can only imagine. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, those clients, they do tend to be the most finicky, I would say difficult to work with, the most unreasonable. And what I've found over time is that the easiest way around that is to respect yourself, respect your work, right? Understand that the quality that you are delivering is fantastic and it deserves to be paid for. And so with the billing process, I would say with that negotiation, instead of saying, hey, okay, fine, I'll lower my rate or I'll lower the overall cost of this project. Yeah, sure. If your budget is lower than what I'm asking you to pay for in this for this the entirety of the project, okay, let's trim out parts of the project that don't need to be done in order to accomplish your goal. And so now I can still charge a fair price. It's just that the output is tweaked, right? So it's kind of an apples to apples instead of let me sacrifice my quality or let me just sacrifice my self-worth, the
Yeah.
value of this project.
With it, I again feel extremely fortunate that with the bulk of my repeats, because that's the thing is like, I'll say 80% of the work I do is with the same people. I work with amazing people. Again, I don't want to like clients, like I get to work with these companies, these people, and they respect me in this. And I don't have the people that haggle or question for things. It's like, they're fair. It's fair. It's like, you know what is going in and this. And yeah, I have great people I work with that are very good at that. It's only that one rare time in between things where something pops up. But no, I'm extremely fortunate that I have good people. And
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. So let's talk about your repeat customer or client or people who you work with
Yep. See,
versus
see, it's a mouthful, but it's like, it just, I don't know, to client just sometimes feels so business transactional when I'm like, I love
yeah.
to feel like I'm part of an organization. I am there so they don't have to hire somebody on full time and pay all these things. I'm like, I still want to be part of your organization. I'm just not there every day.
And you're acting like a team member. That's how you are processing this information, and that is what your output is looking like. That's what it
Absolutely.
is. Yeah, you're a team
Absolutely.
member. You are in your client's corner. You are part of their team.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely my goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you have your 80% repeat clientele.
Mhm.
I'm going to say clientele
Yep.
because it
Yep.
is a
It's
little less
quicker. Yep.
mouthful. And then you have your 20% newbies, right? New clients who are coming in. How do you find your new clients? Where do they come from?
All word of mouth. It's all
Wow.
word of mouth, or you start working with one. I do a couple things throughout the year. It's the official car wash of the Detroit Lions, and you're like, okay. So the Lions were like, oh, we have this guy that we use, and then so they had an opening, And then next time they had an opening, the car wash, L Car Wash is just contacting me and saying, hey, can you do this one for it? Yep. Yep. So it's like it started through the network and meeting people and being a good person, and they like you. So when somebody brings it up, oh yeah, we got this one. This is the person we use. This is who we use. That's real. It's all been word of mouth. There was only one time in these 10 years that I saw a website for this place down the road. And I was like, you guys don't have any videos. Is there, I do this. And then actually like 3 years went by, nothing ever happened. And then a new person got there. They're like, oh, we saw these emails about this. Oh, do you do this? And then that's the only time I've ever like cold called anyone. Other than that, it's people I work with that pass the name on to the others. That is how everyone, or 98%, yes, has been that.
Yeah, you have become the plug. You have become the go-to guy for video. What are the key factors for becoming the go-to person, either in the video industry or if we can expand out for any industry?
Yeah.
How do you become that go-to? What are the key components?
I guess a phrase that I've got picked up. I've done a lot of videos for motivational speakers. And one guy that I talk with him every time I drive into a Lions game, I call him Rob Bell. He's awesome. And the thing he used to say in his talk was, people want to work with friends. Like, you want to work with friends. So because I get along with so many people, yeah, they feel great passing your name for it. I really feel it's just being that good person goes so far. I really do. That's what it's easy to work with. You do feel like you treat them like you're part of the team and all that. Like it, yes, that's how I really feel like that's how your name gets passed around. You could be doing okay work. You could do good work. I think I do good, but there's some people that do amazing, but maybe they're not as easy to deal with, or their prices are really high. It's like, maybe I'm just in that sweet spot, and being a good person takes you that little bit further.
Absolutely. I firmly believe in that too. Absolutely. So when that opportunity came to you in the very beginning from your friend from college, obviously that was brought to you because you had some level of preparedness or know-how. What did you do to set yourself up for that? What did that preparation process look like?
The preparation for that really was, I graduated college in '07, and I'm pretty positive, if I look it up again, YouTube came out in 2005, which seems like it's been around our whole lives, but it really isn't that long.
No,
So
yeah.
when I got out of school, I just started watching all these tutorials and everything on YouTube that was new. And I just found that I really loved it. And by learning everything I could in After Effects, prepared me for when a request would come up. You're like, oh, I can try this. I can do this. I can do this. Like, even though I'd watch things, I'm like, I never am going to use this, but then you never know how that skill can translate over to something else. So that's how I was like, at least prepared for the work. But
Yeah.
then posting up just a few things on social media, again, that was all new too. Around like 2004 was Facebook. So it's like, we were early. Yeah, we were early in those days. And it's like, to be able to put up some of those things, you just put something where they would get a glimpse to see that you're capable. That's it. I don't post a lot on social media at all, but I try every once in a while to put something just to show that you exist. So it's like, that's not my strong suit of social media at all, but I want people to know that I exist and that I can do things. That's ultimately it.
What I'm hearing is two things. First, you have the technical skill set component. You know how to do the work, or at least you know as much as you can to get into the project, and then you learn more as you're doing the project.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you
And
get
then,
that too. Our art is exactly
yeah,
that. Like, it's weird. I still feel weird calling what we do art, but it is, or at
it
least
is.
video. I don't call it art, but like graphic design, that's art, and illustrations, that's art. That's how I view it. But in a way, it is. It's like, you don't just learn the skill and you're done. You're constantly learning forever,
Yes.
which is again, blessing and curse of our industry is you never stop learning. So some people are like, oh, I know this skill, I can do it forever, and now we're great. that's not us. You have to constantly learn. You stop, you're old. And then, yeah, there people aren't going to ever want you anymore because you're not up to date. So yeah,
That's right.
constantly evolving.
That's right. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. And especially with all the new, I'll speak specifically to Adobe. They have rollouts. I feel like every day there's like a new software update every single day. And so, yeah, we do have to stay on top of these new advancements in the technology. And now, a quick message from our sponsor. Looking to take your brand, team, or event to the next level with custom gear that stands out? Virtue Screen Printing is your go-to one-stop shop for high-quality custom apparel and accessories. Whether you're launching a clothing line, gearing up your staff, or repping your squad, Virtue brings your vision to life with custom hats, shirts, hoodies, socks, beanies, and more. We're not talking cookie cutter merch. This is premium, fully customizable gear made with care and attention to detail. What makes Virtue different? It's simple. Low minimums, fast turnaround, hands-on customer service, and a passion for helping brands look good. From bold designs to subtle branding, they do it all, and they do it right. Visit virtuemfg.com to get started, or hit them up directly for a custom quote. That's virtuemfg.com, where vision meets craftsmanship. virtuemfg.com. Thank you for staying with us, and back to the show. And then also there was a second component to what helps set you up, and it sounded like marketing. And it's a very basic level of like, hey, you put yourself out there. That is marketing, right? Bringing yourself to market and putting yourselves in front of
Yeah,
people.
I guess you're right putting that. It's like I always thought it would be like sending papers or something to somebody, but it's like, no, you're right. It's like yourself is marketing. You're marketing yourself. Cause yeah, it's like I haven't made, yes, I have business cards, but other than that, I'm not cold calling people or whatever, which is, I guess I thought the classic version of marketing, but you're right. Every time we do it ourselves, we're marketing ourselves with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marketing is anytime we put ourselves out there or put our business out there for others to see and get to know, and eventually over time become loyal to and understand like, hey, Anthony Marzilli, he is the go-to guy. Kaila Sachse, you go to her if you want graphic design. Like that is part of branding, and branding is like a subcomponent of marketing. The cold calling, that's a little more sales department, but they are so
But
intertwined.
we still have to sell ourselves. So that's where I use that word as selling ourselves. Like, yes, I'm not selling a physical good. We are selling ourselves every time. We are our brand. We are our market, like our marketing team. That's what I can offer is myself. Yeah, that's the only branding I know how to give is myself for the most part.
Yes. I love the way that you're describing it because it's in such an attainable, relaxed way. Sometimes when we think about marketing or sales or branding and all these words that can feel heavy, we do think about sending out all the papers and posting on billboards and all of these big tasks. But it doesn't have to be. Sales can simply look like putting yourself in front of someone and just saying, "Hey, how was your day? How was your day?" Building that relationship. That's it. That is sales.
I love how you said that because there's so many, a few of the places I go, I'm just always like, yeah, I get how work's going, but how are you doing? I do that so many times because like the people I've worked with them for so many years, I'm like, I care more about you. Work can get frustrating, but I want to know how you're doing. And I genuinely do. So when I'm asking those people that, like, that's not trying to sell my business. That's just me being myself, but I guess it still reflects your business at the same time. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I love just checking in on people and seeing how they're doing.
That is so cool to hear. I held this belief for the longest when I started working for myself that I have to be almost like a robotic version of myself, like take in the client's information, process it, produce an output, and rinse and repeat. It was very transactional. And it wasn't until I met clients who introduced the concept to me of humanity and saying, hey, there is imperfection in life, and we are allowed to talk about it, and we are allowed to share what's going on in life.
Yeah.
It wasn't it wasn't until that I realized, oh, there is a completely different way of doing business that is actually way more enjoyable. So I love how you are practicing that and you are evidence that it works.
We're both evidence because you and I have been having these conversations a little bit before this recording, and we are doing that to each other the whole time. So it's like you can tell it's authentic though, that none of it's
Mhm.
forced. We're just having
Yep.
those conversations because that's just who we are. But
That's what we do.
but it's also nice that that's how either you as a person or as your company or business, that's how you're viewed. And I think that can be very beneficial and can't help. That's just who we are.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think so too. There's definitely there's definitely this view of professionalism, right? When you think of professionalism, what do you think of? Right? You think of like the suit and tie, showing up, not expressing any emotion, enthusiasm, none of it, right? But in reality, professionalism may be the antithesis to good business. Maybe there's something to dive into there and rebrand professionalism in a new way so that it's not the antithesis to business, but instead it works in conjunction with it.
Oh, when you're saying that professionalism, like that, what's interesting about that is there's not a hard definition. So what somebody is also probably thinking is professional isn't like, but when somebody's like, oh, we're going to shoot at noon, and I'll be like, all right, I'll be there at 11, like to start setting up. That's the stuff I do, but other people might not always do that. Or you walk in and talk for a minute or that when others might be like, okay, where do you want me to be? And like, but that could be professionalism, just getting right to work. So I think it just depends on the organization that you're with and the people that you're around is just reading the room, I guess we'll put it that way, is knowing what is asked and what is requested and desired.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to that key concept, understanding your market, understanding your people. Who are you working with?
One thing I also love about the things I get to do, uh, the athletic club, I'm showing up in a suit. Lions, especially in the summertime, shorts and a t-shirt. That like you dress for the job for who you
Yes.
are, and other times I'm wearing all the pants, long sleeve shirts, and steel toed boots to go work for this client. Like that's just what it is. So it's cool to go different places and like you say, read the room and being like, when I go here, this is what I am. When I go here, this is what I am. But I mean, still you're the same person. But yes, again, you're thinking more into the organization of how can I be the most appropriate and look like I belong.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. My favorite part of my, we'll call it job, right? Of my work is to be able to work with different industries and express myself according to each industry. So it's like you say, like we are still ourselves, but we get to play different roles of ourselves, and it's really fun. It's so fun, and I also love like getting to learn about each industry and dive into it
This is
further.
the best part. I tell every new one I go into, I go, this is the best part. I don't know any of this stuff, so I'm going to ask a lot of questions because I just want to learn. I love it. And in our career, who gets to do that? Other people go sit in an office a lot of the time and do the same thing over and over. I'm like, we get to learn so much about so many different things that we didn't even know existed. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and you know what's, like, extra fun is, like, you get to learn about all these different
Yes.
topics, and now you go out into the world, and you can talk to almost anybody about almost anything because you have something to share about that topic. You have some
That
sort of
is
experience or whatever.
absolutely one of my favorite parts. And I say it out loud when I go to a place that I know nothing about. I'm like, I want to learn. This is so cool.
Love that. That
Yeah.
is so fun. That's so
And I
fun.
guess that's also good for a client in a way. Sometimes
Mhm,
good and bad,
mhm,
but going in with fresh eyes, going the things
mhm.
that they see over and over and over that they might be just glancing over, we're going and seeing for the first time going, that looks important to me when really they might be like, that's nothing. But I'm
Yeah.
from an outsider, you might be like, that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is the benefit of hiring out, right? And working with other people. And so I would be speaking from your client's point of view right now. That would be the benefit of hiring Anthony because Anthony comes in with his fresh perspective, his point of view, and now we have a more well-rounded conversation about how to strategize on this XYZ, whatever it is. So that's absolutely a benefit. And yeah, that of course, like there is a base level of skill set that is needed, right? And that is what you're coming in with. you're also coming in with that fresh eye on the industry.
And
So
it and
you're-
and also being the, we'll say, the friendly people that we are, then you go, I know I don't know a lot about your industry or what we're doing. What is there something that is extremely important that I could be overlooking, or like, so I just have those conversations. Like I say, I might sound like I don't know anything, but it's going, point out those things that I could be missing being a new person in here. So it's like, again, it's just being vulnerable to possibly asking dumb questions, but to me, they're not dumb because being vulnerable to ask questions that might seem obvious, but just ask. Never hurt. It hasn't hurt me. I don't think so.
I can absolutely tell you because I have people who I hire and who work with me on different client projects. And favorite my favorite trait of someone who works with me is someone who asks me a question that may or may not be silly. I put that in air quotes because at the end of the day, there is no dumb question. I would prefer somebody to ask me than to assume and go in a completely different direction than where the goal is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
absolutely okay to ask questions. I think that's a sign of strength, if anything.
And I'm okay with that. I'm going to do it anyway, whatever it is. Strong or weak, I'm asking.
I love it. I love it. So let's dive into our lightning round. So for you, Mr. Self-Employed, working with all of these crazy big names, what does your daily schedule look like? How does that all work?
I take my kids to school. And that's a great part of being able to do this. It was daycare at times. That was expensive and horrible. I'm glad it's done. Take my kids to school, and I'm now back at like 8:30 and get my cup of coffee, sit down, check emails. And then once I get my mind kind of set, I start working on whatever project I got, which is a lot of editing. So that's that. And then I pick up my kids from school. They now are in two different schools with their ages. So 3 o'clock, I'm getting one, 4 o'clock, I'm getting the other. And sometimes still sitting down till like 7, 8 o'clock. That's the thing. It's not like an hours. I don't count hours. It's just getting a project done. And you just take the time with whatever you have to get done. I like to try to go to bed around 10.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
How old are your kids again?
I have two kids. My son Noah is 11 and my daughter Lucy is 8.
Got it. Got it. And when they were little, what did childcare look like? You mentioned daycare.
Yep. So because when Noah was born, when he was young, my wife's a teacher, so she's in school, and I worked for the Pistons at that time, Comcast and the Pistons. And so, yes, we had to use daycare, and it was great for social and all that stuff. And then also to be able to focus at work. You can't sit and work with the little kids around you when you have so many hours of editing you need to get done.
No,
And
you
then,
cannot.
no, and then when Lucy was born, that was 3 months after I went on my own. So like I knew it was coming. And that's just a scary time. But yeah, she was in daycare as early as possible. So it was a lot of daycare. And then once they're in school age, I've been driving and picking up as long as we can. And that's why I take a lot of pride in. I always wanted to be a dad as long as I can remember, like middle school, wanted to be a dad. So I take a lot of pride in dropping my kids and dropping them off, picking them up. They might find me annoying right now, but I'm hoping in 10, 20 years, they'll look back and be like, man, my dad was there all the time. Cause right now I'm just the mean guy or cause the parent's always there. Like I'm the one that's always trying to be there as much as I can.
Oh, beautiful. What are some things that you do to set them up for success? Because as a parent, our role is to help raise kids into eventual adults. What are you implementing now, or what have you implemented to help set them up?
It's kind of cool that I keep repeating the same thing. Be a good person. That's what I always say. Be nice to everybody. Be a good
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
That can go a long way. That really is it. Like I'm not usually teaching technical things. My son did want to do a YouTube page for a while, and I was like, not against it. I'm like, all right, but if you're going to do it, what is going to make you different than other people? What's going to make you special? Like I'm trying to open their mind a little bit, but yeah, I just always am always repeating over and over, be a good person. Please, thank you. Kind to everybody. People will notice.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what is something that you do to nourish your relationship with them so that the three of you are bonded?
Uh, Soccer takes up a lot of time right now. So they're both in soccer. So we have that. Bonding, it definitely gets more fun as they're older. And how old is yours?
Mine is 2.5. So
Okay, so
he's
you're
like,
still young.
yeah.
See, it's like when they get a little older, it gets a lot of fun. Like now my son, like it wasn't into sports when he was like 5, but then all of a sudden from like 6 to 7, all of a sudden got into it. And I'm like, oh, well, I know a lot about that. And so it's like, as they get older, you get to share those experiences and the hobbies that you have and all that. But it's also fun to be interested in what they're doing when it has nothing to do with your knowledge. Like I, yeah. And I love like my daughter, she's so good at writing and drawing and I just love seeing what she does. And it's just being interested in what they want, even though it has nothing to do with anything I know. And yeah, that's it. Again, I guess, willing to learn and wanting to learn and seeing that and just being in awe and watching and seeing that's really it. I watch them and just be in awe and try to play with what they enjoy. I just try to
Yeah.
be part of their enjoyment.
Yeah, you're diving into their worlds.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's very cool. And it sounds like you have a wife. So you have
Yep, Lindsay. Yep.
a partner. Yep, yep.
Yep.
So what do you do to nourish your relationship with Lindsay? Because running your own business is a lot, and being a dad is a lot.
To say with that, it's especially with the soccer, when they have soccer 4 days a week, 5 days a week, it's when I'm home, then she's maybe dropping them off, and then she's coming home, I'm dropping them off, and then all 3 of them are kind of picky eaters, so it's like they're picking something, and I'm like, okay, well that's what I have, and we get busy, but we just enjoy each other's time. But at the same time, we have our different interests. She likes watching her TV shows. I'm not a big TV person, but I don't think we have to keep doing the exact same thing to enjoy each other and respect each other and know that she's an amazing mom. So yeah, it's a lot of running around, just trying to take care of 4 lives. And just like I feel bad when I have a shoot where I'm like, oh, I'm going to be gone from 8 in the morning, like, or 9, I'll be like, oh, I can drop the kids off. And then you got to worry about pickup or something like that. So it's just a lot of partner tag teaming to try to get life done. That's it. But she's such an amazing mom and such a patient person. So I don't know, I think we do pretty well together. like where that's really, we don't get a ton of time alone or just with us or going out places, because we also love our kids. Like we love being parents, so we like to do things with our kids.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
sounds like you are recognizing that at this point in your lives, things are just going to be busy. And sometimes you will be passing ships in the night, and that's what life is looking like right now. And
Yes,
that's
and
okay.
you absolutely get that. I say that to so many like new parents when they're having that. I'm like, look, this is just a period of time that in 2 years, 3 years, all those daycare bills, because you have 2 in there right now, are going to be gone because they're going to be in school, and then this and then that. Like everything is just a time period. Nothing is forever. So you just take the times for what you have, and then when that phase is done, then the next thing can happen, and you find interests and do what you want to do when the next period shows up.
Oof,
Yeah.
that hit. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Every
It's real. Yeah. And they're all just
wow.
different phases. So that's the one we're in right now. It's just and I hear so many parents with that. It's like, yeah, or the phrase soccer mom. And it's like, that's any sport. Like you can use that for any sport, but it's like, nope, you're constantly running to practices and games and this, and that's just this time of our life right now. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, very well said.
Yeah.
Anthony, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, your words of wisdom. I'm taking that last one with me. That's gonna stick with me. That's a really good one too.
You're in
Oh
one of the
man,
hard ones right now. One of those hard periods. Those are the hard times.
you are telling me. You know, I will say, like newborn phase is not for the weak. Oh my gosh, newborn phase can just
No.
go somewhere else. I
At
did
least
not.
yours can sit up and entertain themselves for at least a half hour and you can get something done. Like, yeah, when they're young, it's all on you.
Oh my gosh, it's so intense. And then I'll say like,
Yeah,
you know, yeah, right around like the 6 month mark, I feel like we rounded a corner. At the 1 year mark, we rounded another corner. And
exactly.
now
It's
like
all just a period, a phase. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah.
Then when you get to, like you say, 2, you can put on a TV show and you'd be like, okay, cool. I can get something done for an hour because they can watch Blippi. Like whatever. It's like you
Yes.
get something done because they can now focus on something for a little bit and don't have to be held.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Try doing dishes while carrying a baby in front of you. It's just impossible and backbreaking.
That sounds horrible.
It's terrible.
And a very
So,
wet baby with the water
yeah.
splashing on the baby.
Oh yeah, that's like a whole thing too. Sorry, baby. We'll just sorry, baby.
Unless baby's on the back. But I was thinking of the front holders where you have them in
Oh,
front of you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's the only way that my son would be carried. He did not want to be on my back. He wanted
We
to be
never
right
had that.
in
We
the
never did the
mix.
back. We had the front one. My wife would wear the front one, but no, they went strollers, I guess. But yeah, you can't do dishes with baby in a stroller in your house. That's weird.
Right. So basically, moral of the story is get a dishwasher. I don't know. Like, is that how we get?
But you
things
still
done?
have to wash the pots and pans. Those aren't gonna fit.
That's true.
Yeah, you still
It's a
got to
whole
do them.
thing.
Yes.
Basically, y'all, it's survival. When they're
Wow,
tiny,
we are
it's just survival.
having grown up talk right now.
I feel like such an adult.
Yes. Yes. We are.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for the laughs. Thank you for everything. Where can people find you, by the way? Are you on Instagram, LinkedIn? Where are you?
Like I say, I'm not huge on social media. When I do post some things, there's some stuff for work. But yeah, it's just my name, Anthony.Marzilli on Instagram. And then Anthony Marzilli is my website. And I also have like a company one because it's like sometimes people want more of an agency where they're like, oh, we just want to know we're covered. Well, I'm like, well, I work with all these people. So I made a brand name as well. So it's like it's still mainly me, but it still can make it look bigger when you're like, oh yeah, we can show up with 4 people easy. It's like, that's just what we do.
I did the exact same thing. So yeah, I get it.
Yep. But it took me 9 years before I finally did the other company name. Like I was like, because I never knew what this was going to be. Starting out like Call It On Your Own, I thought I'd just be available when people needed edits, not really realizing how it could grow or mold to. I had nobody to ask those things to or learn from. I've been learning it along the way. And so, yeah, it's like now was the time that a mutual friend of ours helped me make websites and get those brands up. So
I'll
now
say
I
it.
at least have
That
as
mutual
well.
friend is Richard Dodds. He's amazing.
There you go. He is
Go look him
amazing.
up. He's amazing.
He's helped in so many ways. So yeah, he's awesome. I didn't know if you wanted to name drop, but I'm very okay.
Absolutely. I'm
with
going to name drop. I name drop him all day. He has helped so much with this show, and he's just like, he's such a gem. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
He absolutely is. Yes. So he's helped me with my logos and making my websites or getting them up so I can just maintain them. Like he does all the legwork just so I can do everything. So yes, he helped me make up another brand name as well for More Than Makers is what I was calling it. So that way we can look bigger than what I am. Yeah.
There you go, friends. You can find Anthony on Instagram. You can find him on his website or his agency website. Anthony, thank you for everything.
Thank you
we'll
so
talk
much.
soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. See you later.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Thank you for joining us on Bringing Up Business. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you took a quick second to rate our show on Apple or Spotify, or write a comment on YouTube. You can also share this episode with anyone who you think might gain value from this show. You can find us on Instagram at bub.podcast. That's bub.podcast. And finally, if you have a question that you would like us to answer, please let us know at bringingupbusiness.com. We can either answer it on the show or we can respond back to you directly. Also, a quick disclaimer because our legal team asked us to. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be considered business, financial, or legal advice. Opinions expressed are as of the date of recording and are subject to change. The views and opinions of guests on this program are not necessarily those of Yumari.Digital. Thank you again for listening.